Hello, Mastery Algebra 1. I'm Mr. White. This is Lesson 5.3a, Slope-Intercept Form. What we're going to do is extend on some concepts from Mr. Fuller's lesson on 5.1 and look at all linear functions are related. Certain equations of lines that are considered linear functions are related in that such that they are slope-intercept or slope-intercept form. So on problem 1, we're going to identify a slope and a y-intercept given an actual equation of a line. If we notice over here on slope-intercept form, we have our y and our x. That is some given point that we have that we know goes into the equation to make it a true statement, hopefully. And also, we know that that point hopefully should be on that line. Okay. Here we have m. M represents the slope, and b is our y-intercept. Or, in other words, where does our line cross the y-axis on a graph? So on problem 1, what are the slope and the y-intercept of the graph y equals 5x minus 2? We have to recognize that this is in slope-intercept form, mx plus b. So we drop down and say, okay, what is attached to the x-coordinate? The x-coordinate, that is our slope, so we know that m equals 5. So our slope is 5, or 5 over 1. And our b is equal to negative 2, or we say y-intercept equals negative 2. Another way we can actually write the y-intercept, besides y-intercept equals negative 2, is we can write it as a point, since it is a point on which the graph crosses the axis at the y-coordinate. So we could say 0, comma, negative 2. So on 1a, what are the slope and y-intercept of the graph of y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2/3? Okay, we have to recognize again, it is in y equals mx plus b. So we know that this value that is attached to the x, or being multiplied by the x, that is our slope. So we can say that m equals negative 1/2, and our y-intercept is equal to 2/3, or we could say 0, comma, 2/3. Problem 2. Now we're going to look at writing an equation in slope-intercept form, given the slope and the y-intercept. What is the equation of the line with slope negative 4/5 and y-intercept 7? We know from here, given the slope, we know slope is m, so we know m is negative 4/5, and we know our y-intercept is 7. So if we put it into y equals mx plus b, we're going to substitute the values that we have for m and b, and we're going to get y equals negative 4/5 x plus 7. What is the equation of the line with slope 3/2 and y-intercept negative 1? Y equals positive 3/2. So we have 3/2 x minus 1. Problem 3. Now we're going to take a graph that is a linear function, and we're going to take this graph and write down hopefully our slope and our y-intercept and make a line. Problem 3, writing an equation from a graph. So what we need to do is take our linear line or a linear function and create the actual equation in slope-intercept form. One of the best things to do is look at our graph and see if it crosses exactly in a grid, say like this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. So from previous lessons, if we look at, we have some lines, so we can look at rise and run. So what is our change from here to this next point and then over to the next point? Or from here to this point and then over, and then up and over here. One thing we can do is we know that this line is going up and to the right, so we know we have a positive slope. Based on our graph that we have 4 points that we can choose from. If we choose, let's say this one right here, if we say that that is negative 0, negative 2, and if we just go up over here to this one, we know that this is 1, 0. So given the 2 points that we know that are on the line, we can hopefully find the slope. And then we are given here, since we have 0, negative 2, this is our y-intercept. So we can input there. So from lesson 5-1, if we remember that m is equal to the change in y over the change in x. So given our 2 points, we could use, if we said that this 0, negative 2 was our first point, x1, y1, And the 1, 0 was our second point. By filling in, we're going to have 0 minus a negative 2 over 1 minus 0, which is then 2 over 1. So we know that our slope is 2. From one of the points that we just had, we know our y-intercept is negative 2. So therefore our equation is y equals 2 x minus 2. Problem 5 suggests that if we have our equation, now can we graph it? Well, one of the best points to always graph, remember, is the y-intercept. So from this graph, we know two things. We know that the number attached to the x variable is the slope. So we know the slope is 2. And then over here, we know that the y-intercept is equal to negative 1. Well, we can change the y-intercept to a point, 0, comma, negative 1. So on our graph, if we go at 0, 0, we go down 1. There's 1 point that is on our graph. Okay? So two ways we can do this. We can take a random point that's on our graph, and hopefully, since we have a positive slope, we know it's going to go up and to the right up this way. So if we take and go over 1, 2, 3, we're going to look at the x-coordinate 3. So if I input 3 for x, we're going to get 2 times 3 minus 1. So we get 6 minus 1, which is 5. So 1 point that is on the line is 3, comma, 5. So if I go over 3 and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can put a point. We have 2 points. We can connect the dots, and we have our line. Okay? The second way is to start at that y-intercept from this point here, which is 0, negative 1. And if we know we have a slope of 2 or 2 over 1, we can change in y is 2. So I can go up positive 2, 1, 2, and then I can go over positive 1, which is to the right, and then put a dot. So I know that the point 1, 1 should be on the line. I can also go up 1, 2, positive 1 to the right, and put another dot. And if you notice, each time, up 1, 2, over 1, we are currently on the line. So there's 4 points that I could have used. Okay. Now we're going to look at writing an equation of a line through 2 points. Okay. So example 1, we write the equation of a line passing through 2, 3, and 6, 5. So the first step that we need to do is find the slope. Again, using the formula m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So given our point, if we said that 2, 3 was our first point and 6, 5 was our second point, using the formula, we're going to say that 5 minus 3 over 6 minus 2 is equal to 2 over 4. So the change in y is 2, and then the change in x is 4. Or we can simplify to 1 over 2, or 1/2. Next thing, once we find our slope, we're going to take our slope-intercept form equation, y equals mx plus b, and we need to solve for b. So if we're going to solve for b, that means we need to plug in a y value, we need to plug in an m value, and we need to plug in an x value. Well, given the 2 points that we have, and we just found the slope, we know that the slope is 1/2, and then we just have to choose one of the 2 points. So let's just take the first point. The y value in that coordinate point is 3, so we're going to input 3 into y, and the x value is 2. So if we take our value, we have 3 equals 1/2 times 2 plus b. So we need to solve for b. By solving for b, we have 3 is equal to 1/2 of 2 is 1 plus b. If we subtract 1, we get b is equal to 2. So now we take our 2 points. We have a slope. We have our y-intercept. If we put them together and drop the slope into, which was 1/2, and we drop the 2 into the equation, we have y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Okay, one more example. We're going to write the equation of a line passing through the points -2, 5 and 1, -1. Again, first step, we want to find the slope. So we say m equals, take our 2 points, and hopefully we go -1 minus 5, and then 1 minus a -2. -1 and -5 make -6 over 1 plus 2, which is 3. So our slope is -2 over 1, or -2. Okay. Next, step 2. we're going to now solve for b, which is the y-intercept. So we're going to input into our equation y equals mx plus b. Let's take again this first point, negative 2, 5. We know that the y-coordinate is 5. We just found our slope of negative 2. The x-coordinate is negative 2. And then we're going to solve for b. 5 equals positive 4 plus b. If we subtract 4, b equals 1. So then the last part is to take our y-intercept, which is 1, or again, we could say 0, 1, and input into both m and b. So our equation is y equals negative 2x plus 1. Go ahead, hit pause. Try example 3 on your own. Check back with me in a few minutes. Go. Welcome back. Hopefully we found a slope of negative 1/3. We found a y-intercept of 3. So our equation was y equals negative 1/3 x plus 3. Example 4 is now going to take us through writing the equation of a line given a slope and given a point. So we've already skipped a step. Okay, we've already have the slope. So there's no calculating the slope. And then all we're going to do is just jump to that last step, which was step 2 and 3 from the previous page, and say, well, okay, if we have one point, we're going to take that point and plug it back in to find the equation. So if we have, again, 2, 3 with a slope of negative 1/2, we don't have to find the slope. They gave it to us. So all we're going to do is substitute the slope and one point into the equation y equals mx plus b. So given what we know, we're going to take the 3, which is the y-coordinate. We know our slope is negative 1/2. And then we take the 2 and plug it in. And then we calculate, solve for b. So we get 3 equals negative 1/2 of 2 is negative 1 plus b. By adding the 1 over, we get the y-intercept of 4. So we have the slope that was given to us. We now find the y-intercept. So when we write it, we end up getting y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Go ahead, hit pause. Try examples 5 and 6. Check back with me in a few minutes. Go. All right. If you check example 5, we should have had y equals 3/5 x minus 2. And number 6, y equals negative 1x minus 9. All right. Next page. This is getting into lines. So what we're going to do is now we're going to take our practice. We're going to write the equation of a line that passes through two given points. So one example. If we have negative 4, negative 5, 8 and 4, we know again x1, y1, x2, y2 if it helps. We're going to say the slope is equal to 4 minus a negative 5 over 8 minus a negative 4, which gives us 9 over 12. Okay? Hopefully we reduce. 3 goes into both of those, so we get 3/4 as a slope. Okay? Let's take again our first point, and we're going to set negative 5 equal to our slope times the x-coordinate, which is negative 4, plus b. So negative 5 equals negative 12 divided by 4, which is negative 3, plus b. So plus 3, and we end up getting b is equal to negative 2. So our y-intercept is negative 2. If we write the equation, we're going to have y equals 3/4 x minus 2. If we jump down to number 5, okay, sometimes you may be asked to write the equation of a line that passes through a certain point and has a certain slope. Okay, so this is the one we're given the slope and given a point on the line. We're going to write an equation. So we're going to practice 5 through 8. If we flip over, okay, number 9 and 10, we have a slope of 0 and a point, 3, negative 5. So we're going to write the equation there. And 10, a little tricky, we have a slope undefined, and we get negative 2 and negative 6. That is a point that's on the line. All right, on 11 and 12, 13 and 14, you're going to take the lines that are given. Here, here, and here. You're going to Tell us what the slope is. Find the y-intercept and write the equation of the line. So when you finish both 5.3a and 5.3b, go ahead, wait a couple minutes, check your answers. Go. Okay, if you notice, here are the answers. Please, if you have any troubles, see us. 1 through 4. There's 5 through 8. There's 9 and 10, 11 and 12. And 13 and 14. Hey, congratulations. Don't forget, on lesson 5.3a, there's still bookwork, page 312. Always remember, do your best, forget the rest. Bye for now.